Hello, everyone. It's Stretford Post. How you all doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. I hope everyone's doing okay. Everyone's doing well on this Saturday afternoon. Slightly late, of course. Well, very late, of course. Today, of course. Obviously, life gets in the way. But thank you, everyone who's joined me today. And welcome to Breaking Dawn, guys, on this Saturday. No Man United today. Man United have got a little bit of a rest, 24 hours rest from the stress and the anxiety that is Manchester United. We play Arsenal tomorrow in a big game, but nothing to play for. But it's still Man United against Arsenal, isn't it? At the end of the day, and you know what? That alone is enough, isn't it? To take it seriously, to be up for that game, isn't it? To be honest with you guys. And you know what? There's lots, obviously, noises around Man United this week. It's been another eventful week for Manchester United, drawing 1-1 with Real Sociedad. Personally, I don't think that's a bad result. I thought Man United will take them back to Old Trafford. I didn't see too much from Real Sociedad that would suggest that we should be worried about Real Sociedad. Real Sociedad only started playing after the penalty, and that was about it. Now, apart from that, then we had the noises about Kobbie Mainoo. The Kobbie Mainoo story obviously happened a few months ago. There was rumors about Kobbie Mainoo wanting a new contract back then. And as I've always believed, there is no smoke without fire. When you talk about media noises, there is plants in that media. There has to be a plant in that media. But it depends which angle you look at it in regards to Kobbie Mainoo. Either the Ineos have planted this seed in the media so that a part of the fan base fall for it and turn their backs on Kobbie Mainoo. So subconsciously in your head, when we do sell Kobbie Mainoo, you're going to say, well, he was greedy anyway. He's a mercenary. He wanted more money. This is the tactic that these billionaires do, you know what I mean, to try and sway you against that person so you don't turn against the ownership if it happens. Right now, I couldn't throw anything out the window in regards to this. I can't really, say that that's right or wrong, because at the moment, I believe that, I don't trust this ownership. I really don't trust this ownership. I haven't trusted this ownership since the time they came into the football club. And, it would be a fool to trust them, blindly. I mean, you don't trust something that is not proven to you. Because at the moment, as everyone keeps saying, like, you know what, they've been very negative. Everything that is coming out of Ineos has been negative. It hasn't been positive. It's been negative. It's been a bit of a negativity roller coaster ride, hasn't it? At the end of the day, look, you know what? I wouldn't say everything, but you know what? Most things, 90% of things have been. And you look at the summer was okay. It was okay. It wasn't perfect, but the summer was okay. But you know what? Since then, it's just been a barrage and an array or a catalogue of negativity. Everything is doom and gloom, so to speak, if you know what I mean. Let's read some of your comments. Big up Rasta. Big up. Thank you so much, Rasta. Hope you're doing well. Big up UK Rap. Hope you're doing well. Big up Stephanie. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, Stephanie. Good to see you. Of course, no worries, mate. We are locked in. Thank you so much, Rasta. Hope you're doing well. Thank you, everyone who's joined me. Good morning, late morning one today. Absolutely, a late morning. Well, right now in the UAE it's 2:20. Not quite breaking dawn where I am, but obviously in England it's still breaking dawn. Of course, it's still early in the morning, of course, guys. So you know what? Thank you. Better late than never, as I said. Thank you, everyone who's joined me today. I really do appreciate it. Of course, really do appreciate it. If Man United don't get mentioned, no views or papers will get sold. Absolutely. Well, clicks nowadays, isn't it? There's no such thing as papers anymore. But it's not about the papers. This is about a situation where they want us to turn against Kobbie Mainoo, and that's what I firmly believe. I think this is a situation where Ineos want us to turn against Kobbie Mainoo so that if they do sell him, they can say, well, you know what, he wanted too much, his demands were too much, and then we start blaming the player. It's reverse psychology, isn't it? Big up, Michael. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Good to see you. Unless a player speaks out live in public, we will never know for sure. But football agents continue to ruin it, sadly. I mean, I think it's something like on the lines of these players ignore it. They ignore it. But what subconsciously is happening is that many of the fan base are turning their backs on players who asked for astronomical wages. Look, I'm not saying he hasn't asked for astronomical wages. I just think there could be more than meets the eye, because you have to ask yourself, why and how do these rumors spread? Where do they come from? And why do they get spread? You would have thought that if a player wanted new wages, some more wages, it would have been kept undercover, wouldn't you? You would have thought that, unless he wanted a transfer, you would have thought that this kind of thing would have been kept under wraps. because I don't understand why or how it gets leaked. And I only come to the conclusion that it's Ineos spreading this noise, that so that we turn our backs against the player. Could be wrong, of course, but it does stink of that, to be honest. Michael, I would have kept Maynard if Manchester United manager Sal. Me too, of course. But obviously, we'll have to wait and see, and we'll have to wait and see what happens. Obviously, in the next 24 hours, 48 hours, 48 weeks, whatever it is. You know what I mean? We just have to wait and see what happens, because the summer is going to be a very, very telling summer. And what I have to do as well, and I have to balance it out a little bit in regards to what I speak about. I can't be one-sided. What I would say is that if Manchester United do not qualify for Europe, we could expect a few sales. We will expect a few sales, because if you were playing for Manchester United right now, and let's for argument's sake say that you wasn't a Manchester United fan, right? Would you want to stay at Manchester United? Like back in the day, we had Wayne Rooney, right? Wayne Rooney signed for Man United, and who was it who wanted Wayne Rooney at that specific time? Not Manchester City; they weren't even around then. It's someone else wanted Manchester City at that time. I'm not sure it was Liverpool or Arsenal, one of those teams. But he went to Manchester United because it was Manchester United. These days, if it's Manchester United, Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool, who they going to pick? They're not going to pick Man United, isn't it? And we have to face the reality what it is at the moment. We're not where we are, at the moment. And we just want people who want to play for us. We want players who want to wear that red shirt. A bit like the interview with Ighalo. If you saw the interview with Ighalo yesterday, talking about just wearing the red shirt, is all he wanted to do. He would have done it for free. And that kind of mentality, unfortunately, in regards to Manchester United, it doesn't really happen anymore, of course, unfortunately. Absolutely. Yeah. So, guys, I want to get into it a little bit. I want to get into some of the, obviously, transfer. Big up, Jim. What's going on, Jim? How you doing, my friend? Good evening, sir. How are you? Big up, bro. Big up, Jim. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to the stream. Of course, a late one today, of course. But you know what? Thank you, everyone who's joined me. Who's taken the time out to join me today. I really, really do appreciate it. Thank you, everyone. Of course, guys. Absolutely. So, not quite the same show, but you know what? We get it in, of course. Unwelcome distractions and deflections hindering our recovery to get back on top of the perch. Hopefully, things change soon. We've had a distraction since I can remember. Man United have always had, but we knew how to handle these distractions. And these days, we have social media, and it's very difficult to handle these distractions, don't we? You know what I mean? And what I would like is the fan base to get together and to back Ruben Amorim. And whatever Ruben Amorim does, we should back. That's what I say, because we've been down this road before, sacking managers. We've done this before, and I just want us to back the manager, and what will be, will be. You know what? Ineos, the Glazers already on, we already know what they are, but in regards to Ineos, they are on fraud watch. And we are watching them in the summer. And if we look at that summer, and by the end of the summer, we look at it and we think, wow, that was terrible, then we know where we're heading, isn't it? At the end of the day, there is protests tomorrow before the Arsenal game. I would say to the Manchester United community, and obviously to 1958, that we shouldn't just aim it at the Glazers. This is also a target at Ineos, and a warning for Ineos that if you do not put football ahead of everything in this football club, and if you do not put the fans ahead in this football club, then you are going to be pushed out of the door. And this is another thing that we have to, force home, to be honest, because I'm seeing a lot of things about Glazers only. We have to remember who facilitated the Glazers as well, who went to bed with the Glazers, who gave the Glazers a lifeline. Do you know what I'm saying? So we have to remember that as well. So hopefully that gets remembered as well tomorrow, and they are targeted as well as the Glazers, of course, guys. Absolutely. Remember to give the channel a like. Thank you so much. Over to watching. Thank you so much, Stephanie. Thank you. Yes, thank you. A lot watching right now. Thank you, everyone who's joining me today. You absolute legends, absolute diamonds. Now, let's get into something a little bit more of a softer nature, something a little bit more, in regards to transfer news. Guys, I want to bring in some players in regards to, I spoke about this player a few weeks ago, and I don't know how, but the media clock onto it, right? And I spoke about this weeks ago. The player's Mateta or Crystal Palace. Now, I'm a big fan of Mateta. Of course, Mateta had that serious. Well, it was a bad injury against the other Millwall goalkeeper the other day when he kicked him in the head, isn't it? And he cut his ear open. What have he done? He cut the back of his ear, and he had to have stitches. He is linked with Manchester United, and I've always said that it does benefit you when you buy players from the Premier League, players that are Premier League proven. Now, various journalists, and what I'm hearing is that Manchester United are incredibly interested in Mateta. What do I make of this? Look, you know what? Again, if we can supply for Mateta, if we can build around Mateta, if we can do that, if we can bring in some players to create for him as well, then that would be great. But one thing I like about Mateta is that he's not only Premier League experience, he's an incredible athlete. He's big, but he's an athlete. And I think he's incredibly underrated. Scores a lot of goals. Ever since he's walked into the football club at Crystal Palace, he has scored goals. And I like this player. I do like this player. How likely is it to happen? I mean, that remains to be seen, of course. We'll have to wait and see in the summer because we're not going to sign anyone at the moment. But he is on Manchester United's radar, of course. So various journalists are now starting to report on it. Of course, MUFCMPB. Of course, I know pretty well. Manchester United are monitoring Crystal Palace striker Jean-Philippe Mateta and could move for him in the summer. Mateta has emerged as a major target for United. His mobility and willingness to toil the Arrowhead means United scouts believe he would be a prime fit for the club. Now, guys, look, you know what? This is exactly what I've been saying for the last few weeks about players like Mateta, that they are not only athletes, their determination, and they're willing to succeed. Now, look, the problem with Man United are having at the moment is that, we were attracting players in the past through money and trying to entice them with money and which obviously sends out the wrong signal, doesn't it, to the player. And, to be honest with you, I think that nowadays we're not going to be giving players 200,000 a week, 100, it's not going to happen. The most we'll be giving someone like Mateta will be about 80 to 100,000 a week. Right? That is what we'll be offering Mateta. So now it's up to a player like Mateta. If he was going to come into Manchester United, a player like him, he would obviously demand a higher wage, because it's Manchester United. His eyes light up. Oh, I can get amazing amounts of money and stuff like that, But this is the whole key here, is that if he accepts 80 to 100 grand, then I mean, that is a lot of money. I know it's laughable, to be honest, really, when you talk about it. But if he accepts that amount of money, then you could say that, at least his mind's in the right place. At least, he wants to play for the football club. And apparently, according to my sources, that he is pushing for a move to Manchester United, of course. So that is one to look out for. Now, Court Offside have been speaking about another young Turkish player called Yusuf Akçiçek. Yusuf Akçiçek, Yusuf Akçiçek, of course, of Fenerbahce, currently playing under Jose Mourinho, of course. He is a player that, Manchester United are also interested in, according to media reports. This is Court Offside, so I would take it with a little bit of a pinch of salt, but this is not the first outlet that are talking about this player. He's a prolific striker who is a Turkish international, of course, a young player as well, which obviously excites Ineos. They're looking at this type of signing, of course, and going forward, they're not looking at people who are below a certain age, so over 26, goodness me. So, I mean, he's not as prolific. I mean, look, when you look at him at the end of the day, when you look at him, he's a centre-back. Excuse me, sorry, I think I said striker, but he is a centre-back. And Man United are looking for a centre-back, of course. And to be honest with you, Yusuf Akçiçek, I'm going to say it like this. Yusuf Akçiçek is a defender that Man United are looking at the moment, of course. So when you look at Yusuf Akçiçek, he is only 19 years old. He's only 19 years old. He's got 6 caps for the Turkish under 19s team. He would only cost not much, 20 to 30 million euros, of course, guys. So that is an affordable amount for Manchester United at the moment. Fenerbahce notoriously have not really sold players at a high amount, of course. And he is a player that can play left, who can play right. So that is what Ineos are looking for at the moment. He's a player that can play left and right in defense. So he's a defender, and he's a player that Man United are looking at the moment, of course. So look, keep your eyes peeled for Yusuf Acicek, and you know what? That could be a signing that Man United are looking for. Now, obviously, Man United are in the market for, like, there was Raul Jimenez, of course, in South America, Rosario player. Of course, there were players like that who Man United are looking for, they can get at a cheaper rate. If they can get these players at a cheaper rate, then that would be good, because we're losing Johnny Evans and we're going to lose Lindelof as well. Let's read some of your comments. Goals for George. I can never understand a club not having a policy about contract negotiations during the season except international breaks, and the season Maynard has been given odd vibes this season. He's been injured, though. I don't think he's been as good this season. That could be to do with the amount of football that he's been playing, obviously, since the Euros and last season. He's played a lot of football. Jim, big ups, big up everyone, of course. Big up. Matata would be a fantastic. The physicality and finishing is a perfect what United need. Good point, AC. I do agree. And the most important thing is that he's Premier League proven as well. We need more Premier League proven players. You know, we need players that are athletes, fit and ready to fight for the badge, of course. And I think he would, of course. So I remember you mentioned Matata, the player, not long ago. Yes, Jim, I mentioned him a long time ago, of course. Thank you, Jim, for pointing that out, my guy. Absolutely, yeah. And now the media is starting to play on it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I have my sources and I speak. But, you know, if I speak, you know, I'll get myself in trouble. But you know what? That is exactly what it is. Thank you, Jim. Yeah. And then they start reporting it weeks later. Absolutely. EC, as a club, we need to raid Palace, Wolves and Fulham to get the right profiles that suit United's style of play. You know, it's not a bad shout, EC. It's not a bad shout, because these players, you know what, play for the badge, because they're not getting 300, 200,000 a week. The biggest problem that Man United are going to have is that when they get these players from the likes of Fulham, from the likes of Wolves, we have to make sure we don't overpay these players, because when you overpay them, it just gives them the wrong idea, you know, and you know what, they might think they've made it. I'm at Man United now. You know what I mean? I'm at Man United now and I've made it. You know, we don't want these players to have that mentality. Do you know what I mean? We need players to fight and love the club, you know. A bit like Ugallo. It was very refreshing to hear Ugallo yesterday speak. Really was. Millwall goalkeeper Leon Roberts, 6-match ban for kick against Crystal Palace. Yes, well deserved. It was a horrible challenge, of course. Almac, as United go into get this Dewey, I want him to, instead of Xerxes last summer. It would be impressed if we get him. Why would they say the same so soon? I believe that what I'm hearing, Almac, is that PSG are looking for money. Join the club. Join a club. What I'm putting, and not, listen, I'm going to take this with a pinch of salt as well. So I'm going to bring this into the stream really, really quickly. Various sources are talking about the player, the highly talented player, of course, Doué, who plays for PSG. Manchester United scouts were in Paris the other night against Liverpool to watch Doué play, who had a fantastic performance again. And this is a player that, you know what, he's going to be highly sought after. The only thing I would argue in regards to Doué is going to be, of course, his price tag. His price tag is incredibly expensive. And to be honest with you, is it something that, you know, we can afford? What we can do and what noises are coming around Manchester United at the moment is Manchester United could offer a player like Marcus Rashford in exchange with a fee for this player. Okay, so it is very interesting. Now, his market value is around 40 million euros. He's only 19, right? He's a left winger, which is interesting. So he can play in a sort of Garnacho role. So also, guys, and a little bit of an exclusive for you. Not only Marcus Rashford, but Garnacho has been mentioned as a make weight for the deal. It could be a straight swap between Desire Doué and Garnacho. So Garnacho could be going to PSG and we get Desire Doué. This is the desired, excuse my pun, option for PSG. They want Garnacho. Now, guys, you know what? Would you do a deal like that? He's got 4 caps for France under 21s. He can play in various positions, especially left winger. That is his main position, but he can play right winger as well, as inverted, and attacking midfielder as well. So the problem with him is that obviously his agents are his family, and obviously they are very outspoken. Of course, it's going to be down to if we did do a swap deal with Garnacho. I don't want to do that, to be honest with you. I think Garnacho, you know what, is a good player, but it's rumored that Garnacho has become disillusioned by the way he's been treated by the Manchester United faithful, and it feels like he's been made a bit of a scapegoat. So if we were to do a deal, we could possibly do a deal with Marcus Rashford with a fee, or we could do a straight swap with Garnacho and do it. And PSG are very interested in Garnacho, of course, guys. So that is something to look out for as well, of course, guys. Something to look out for as well, of course. Goals for George. I would take Mateta in addition to Osman, who would be a shirt seller, while Rasmus could go on loan, develop under less scrutiny. I agree about the loan. Goals for George, I do agree about the loan. I don't know if we can get Mateta and Osman. Would be very expensive, of course. I don't think we can afford it. We have to sort of spread it out around the team. As much as we need more strikers, I do agree with that, Goals for George. I do think that we need to think about other positions as well. So what Man United might do is Man United might bring in 1 striker and 1 midfielder and 1 defender. It could be like that. I know it's not enough. And probably a wing back. I know it's not enough, but it's the way we are at the moment, isn't it? Big up, Adam. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Big up, mate. I'm new to you. I'm a Man United fan, mate, too. Big up, Adam. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to Stretford Post. Thank you so much for joining me today. Really appreciate you joining me, of course. Really appreciate that. Don't forget to subscribe as well. Of course, we're every day, twice a day sometimes. So good to see you here, Adam. Hope you enjoy the show. Tyborg, how you doing, my friend? Good to see Tyborg back in the house. Big up the Frankfurt massive, of course. These are sort of players we should be after. Thank God of Woodward days are in the past. Absolutely. Which one, Tyborg? Which one? I've spoken about 3 today. These players are the sort of players that Man United need to be after. And in addition, these players are extremely well scouted. And that's what I like. A bit like when we're scouting for Diego Leon or we're scouting for Raul Jimenez, of course, as well. These players are very, very, diamonds in the rough, I would say. Diamonds in the rough. And I hope that we can do deals like this in the summer. Mateta would be like a sort of surprise signing for me. It would be a surprise signing, but a signing that is godsend, because we need that sort of player. We need that sort of mentality in the football team. We really do, of course. Cunha has been getting into too much trouble of late, and so I prefer Mateta, who seems like a funny guy to have in the team. Handles and Katia like his little bro, and yeah, look, Goals for George. He has a mentality that I like. You know, I like that mentality. I really do like that mentality. You know, when what was it? There was the game when Chido played, right? When Chido OB played, and you saw Xerxes, right? And you saw Xerxes console. Was it Chido when he missed a chance or something like that? I don't know when it was. And I really like that about players. You know, players who, not only are good players, but also can influence the team around them. You know what I mean? And create more of a family vibe, so to speak, you know. And I like players like that because it adds to the morale. I like Mateta as well. This is why I mentioned Mateta weeks ago. I said Mateta, is on Manchester United transfer list, but Man United should prioritize a player like Mateta because, you know, he's not only played in the Premier League, he's leading Crystal Palace, you know, almost single-handedly leading Crystal Palace, of course. In regards to Cunha, I have not been impressed with Cunha this season. I don't think Cunha has had a good season as last season. He's a good player, but I just don't think he's what Man United need at the moment. If he's causing too much problems and stuff like that, I don't think that's the kind of player that Man United need, of course. Michael, would you give player number 10 to replace Rashford, the player number 10? Who knows who we get as number 10? I would, if Rashford goes. What player would you take from out of the Premier League for Man United this summer, mate? Adam, what player would I take if I had the choice of all the players in the Premier League? I mean, that would be lovely, wouldn't it? You know, if I had the choice of every single player in the Premier League. Look, if we're talking realistic, right? If we're talking about realism here, and we talk about players that may do well for Man United, I would take Cole Palmer, mate. I would take Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer would be the player I would take to play behind the striker. And the other player, and it would actually be someone like the player plays at Bournemouth. I've forgotten his name now, but I spoke about him a few weeks ago. French, I think he's a French player, but I spoke about him a few weeks ago. A winger stroke striker who plays for Bournemouth at the moment, absolutely killing it, prolific. Would be another one. I'm going to get his name in a minute, but that him as well will be a great signing for Man United. But if I was to choose one player in the Premier League right now to sign, it would be Cole Palmer for me. Absolutely. Big up. Thanks for the question, Adam. Please let Stretford post us 10,000 as soon as possible. Thank you so much, Lumen. Really appreciate that. We're not far away from 9, of course. A few hundred away from 9,000 subscribers, guys. If we can get to 10,000, let's say by the end of the month, that'd be absolutely fantastic, of course. I value Dewey at 40 million. I rate Garnacho at 60 million. So swap deal for me. Sell Garnacho 60 million. Give PSG 4 million is better for us. By the way, Dewey can play both wings, midfield. You know what? It will be sort of like a gesture. If we give them Garnacho and we take Dewey, it would be a gesture. But Dewey don't. Dewey don't. Dewey do it. Dewey don't. Dewey do it. Dewey don't. Excuse the pun. Because at the end of the day, he is playing in France. Let's not forget. He had a fantastic game against Liverpool. I must admit, it was really good. But coming to the Premier League, obviously, Almac is a completely different kettle of fish, isn't it? It's a completely different environment, isn't it? At the end of the day. Goals of George, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you so much, Goals of George. Hope you're doing well, Goals of George. Good to see you, brother. Hope you're good. Sal, why late today? I got stuck in traffic, Sniper Man. Stuck in traffic today, of course. So I couldn't move. I couldn't fly. You know what I mean? So stuck in traffic. So that is what happened today. Sorry about that, guys, of course. So it has been Gutierrez's price after other than release score 60-75. I mean, Man United are not going to pay that. Man United have already said about Gutierrez about the age. He's coming on to 27 years old. So Man United are looking at that, with open eyes, because Ineos' philosophy is younger than 26. Only on exceptional situations that Man United will sign anyone over 26 if they're exceptional talent. I like Gutierrez, so it could still happen. The price tag needs to lower, though. Absolutely. So is Matata trouble or problem? Like me, is Mateta? Is Matata a trouble or problem like me? No, he's not a problem. He's the thing with Mateta of Crystal Palace is a problem in a good way. You're a problem in a bad way, Matata, and that's no offense. The Snugger, so Gutierrez is out of the budget, but yeah, sort of, but it's not to say that's over. Man United do have a gentleman's agreement with Gutierrez, but we haven't agreed a deal with Sporting Lisbon. But United are keeping their options open in regards to the striking department. Mateta is a new one that has come onto the radar recently. I did mention it weeks ago, guys. I hate to toot my own horn, but that is what happened, yeah. And now certain media outlets are starting to report it, of course. But it's from Manchester City. Doesn't matter, Sniper Man, who's from Manchester City. Man City are irrelevant. He plays for Chelsea now. So guess who he supports, Sniper Man? Manchester United he supports. That is the main thing. Moed, do his 100 million. He's worth 45 million market value. He's worth 45 million, but Manchester United tax, of course. But they are looking, PSG are looking at Garnacho. So it's a deal that we could sort of wheel and deal there, of course. How can Mainu ask for 200k away Cole Palmer 130k? Isn't he being greedy? Does he think these are... let me tell you something, Almac. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I really don't. I think it's an Ineos plant. I said it weeks ago, Almac. I'm not changing my opinion. And nothing happened back then, did it? What I would say that it's an Ineos plan, that they're trying to turn you against the player. Look, I'm not saying I'm 100% exclusively right? But what I would say is that it does stink of Ineos planting the seed to the fan base for us to turn against Mainu, so that when they do sell him, we will say, well, like you're saying, Almac, he was greedy anyway, wasn't he? We got to watch out and we got to peep the game. We cannot trust anything around Ineos at the moment. We cannot trust anything around the club at the moment. We have to look at things from a bird's eye view and with our eyes wide open, because at the moment, you know what, they're going to do things like that to try and manipulate, of course. So we have to be careful, of course. I am talking about the player, Sal. Almac, a bad influence. No. See, that's exactly what you're doing now. That's exactly what you're doing now. You're turning against the player when you don't know the truth. And that is what happens, guys. And then what happens? It plants the seed, doesn't it? Smart. I've been in football a long time, guys. I know how these guys work. Do you know what I mean? I know how they work. You know, you have to be awake to it. How much will Man United have to spend, do you think, this summer, mate? I think about 200. I mean, if it was me, it's $500 million, Adam. But what would be a good summer is about 200 million. I would like Ruben Amorim to have the other wing back. He needs another wing back. He needs a striker. He needs another midfielder. And he needs another defender. Fingers crossed. I mean, can we get all that with 200 million? We're probably going to have to offload a few players. Of course, I'm looking at Lindelof is going to be leaving on a free transfer. Eriksen's going to be leaving on a free transfer as well. So that is up in the air. We're going to get 35 million for Jadon Sancho, of course. 25 million for Jadon Sancho, of course. Hopefully Rashford leaves as well. Hopefully Anthony leaves as well. And let me bring in Anthony, actually. Let me bring in Anthony real quickly, of course, because Anthony, as we know about FFP and stuff like that, Justin, Manchester United need to sell Anthony for 32.52 million this summer to avoid a PSR loss. Now, this is where we get into the realms of PSR, and this is where it gets complicated. Man United, if they sell Anthony for less than 32.52, let's not forget we purchased Anthony for about 90 million. So if we sell him for less than 32.52 million, it will harm our PSR. Just like Rasmus Højlund. If we sell Rasmus Højlund, I think it's about 42 million. If we sell Rasmus Højlund for less than 42 million, it will harm our FFP and PSR. We will have a loss. So it's not only about selling players. It's also about selling players at the right price. So that is very, very important as well. Of course, guys. Where was I, guys? Of course. Where was I? Sal, I would take Vardy, Dan Mateta. Sniper man. Vardy's nearly 40 years old, mate. What are you talking about, man? But Sniper man, please, I beg you, Sniper man, and this is no offense to you, mate, but please research football, learn about football, please. Please, mate. Honestly, because it's not good. So, looking at the past 10 years of Man United giving wages to players, if it is Maine's fault, if he is asking for more, if he is asking for more Matata, we have to say if. You know, we have to say if. But what I would argue that point is that we are under a different ownership now, 27 of it, 28% who are responsible for the wages. Man United are not doing that anymore, which is why we gave the likes of Xerxes only 60 grand a week, of course, guys. So Man United will not be held to ransom or pushed these days. Man United were owned by Woodward and Murto were responsible for that from before. That's not going to happen anymore, of course. I don't want to sell Garnacho just now. He has more potential and there will be more inflated. That is obviously your opinion. We'll have to wait and see, of course. Get Glazers out. So absolutely, tomorrow is the day. Tomorrow is the day of the protest, of course. Of course, guys. I'm back. Big up, Jim. Of course. Big up. Of course. Man United needs an open heart surgery. I mean, I've heard that a million times. If I got £1 every time I heard that, Sniper man, be original, mate. Be original. Come on, be original. Winners are original. You think we need the new goalkeeper? Who would you take, mate? Me, personally, if we needed a new goalkeeper, if I had anyone and I had the choice of any goalkeeper in Europe, it would be Donnarumma for me. Although I was very disappointed in the goal he let in against Liverpool, but I would say Donnarumma for me. I like the goalkeeper who's tall, strong, domineering. You know, I like the goalkeeper to be domineering. I think nowadays some of these small goalkeepers, I would put in that category. I'm not really a big fan of those type of goalkeepers, if I'm being honest with you guys. But there are a number. Obviously, Kovar, I was a big fan of Kovar before he went to Leverkusen. I didn't think we should have sold Kovar and bought in Onana, of course. There's also rumours to get De Gea back. I don't believe in going back, though. But obviously, there is rumours, of course. But Donnarumma type goalkeeper is for me. Tall goalkeeper, domineering goalkeeper. Simon Vardy and grandchildren of your age. Absolutely, Matata. Cyberman needs to fix up, mate. Couldn't believe how Eduard flopped at Palace and now nobody sees him at Leicester. He has a better numbers and ceiling than Mateta, but football is strange at times. Goals for George, you know, the thing about football, it's just like we were talking about Cunha and things like that earlier, is consistency. The mark of a great player is consistency, who can do it every single season. This is why the greats of Ronaldo and players of that nature are fantastic players and are deemed the GOATs of football, because you know what? Always giving at least 8 out of 10 and always making a difference in the game. Even when you don't play well, you make a difference in the game. And you're right about Edouard. We heard a lot about Edouard when he first broke into the scene at Crystal Palace, but since then we haven't heard anything from him. Of course, there's a number of reasons that could be. We can't just say that it's one thing and that is the reason. You know, there are a number of factors that do go into that. You know, for example, players don't always find their home. Sometimes players can't settle in certain clubs. Sometimes players settle at certain clubs. And Leicester is a tough place to go, because obviously Leicester City are in a bit of a problem. They're getting relegated. Let's face it. They're not very good. I feel sorry for Ruben Nistelrooy. They have a decent team, but I just feel like sometimes you get caught in the negativity and that brings you down as well, of course. Anton's performing well in La Liga, might be better player for us as well. Absolutely not. La Liga is his level. That is his level. Sniper Man, he can't play for Man United. He's had 2 years to perform at Man United and he's flopped. That is dead ball knowledge, Sniper Man. You're coming out with dead ball knowledge today, mate. What you need to understand is that, you need to look at why he hasn't performed for Man United. The shirt is too heavy. A lot easier to play for Real Betis for him. So that tells you more about him than it does for Manchester United, of course. Michael, in Manchester United versus Arsenal match preview, I would only talk in the truth about Lindelof and Eriksen. Yeah, you were talking about it, but you weren't listening to the point, Michael. You weren't listening to the point. I would play Eriksen and Lindelof because I want to rest the players for Thursday, my mate. For Thursday. I want to rest the players for Thursday because we got a far better chance. We got a far more important game against South Sociedad on Thursday than against Arsenal tomorrow. So this is why I would play Eriksen and Lindelof at the end of the day. You were not talking the truth. You were talking absolute codswallop, Michael. Yes, you were talking rubbish. So what I would say is that we have to rest these players. I don't know if I'm speaking a English, but I want to tell you very slowly because I don't think you quite understand what I'm talking about, mate. Right? So what you have to understand is that we need to, I've said it 1,000 times to you. By the way, it's community. I have to spell it out. You know what? I haven't got my drawing board at the back. Otherwise, I would have drawn him a picture. But what I would say is this. We have to rest players and play other players because we have a more important game on Thursday, which could quite possibly go to extra time, right? So we need to rest players against Arsenal, despite it being a rivalry between Man United and Arsenal. It's not an important game in the whole grand scheme of things. So we need to rest some players and bring in some players and play the other players on Thursday. Let's do this, guys. That's it. Round of applause to me again. Absolutely. Hopefully it got through his head. Really, it's like squeezing water from a stone sometimes. Absolutely. All right, Sniper Man. I meant experience-wise, I would take Vardy. Mate, experience-wise, I would take Pele. What are you talking about, mate? At the end of the day, experience-wise, Vardy's finished, mate. Mateta's the future. So who are we going to sign, my Sniper Man? Should we just go after Paul Scholes and David Beckham? Should we bring them back? Because they've got experience. Should we do that? Sniper Man, come on, man. Your ball knowledge, man. Fix it. Didn't PSG just sign Doué last summer? Yep. We are much keen on him in the summer as well. But PSG came strong for him. But I do see this happening. Okay, let's see what happens, Jay. Big up, Jay, by the way. Hope you're doing well. Let's see what happens, isn't it? I mean, me personally, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just hearing noises about Doué. Much ado about nothing, as we say. So I'm hearing a lot of noises about Doué. So we have to wait and see. Amak, I read the PSR is only a place for 1 more year. There is another system limiting the spending based on revenues that would benefit United we have some of the most highest revenues, Amak, and that would benefit us. I don't like PSR. I don't like FFP. I don't think it's fair. Honestly, I don't. I don't like it. I think it ruins English football. It ruins football because you are encouraged to sell your young players. And that is not what it's all about, is it, at the end of the day? So I think they need to change the rules. Absolutely, Ahmad. How come when Ahmad was negotiating the process seemed straightforward with little noise? I think agents are the reason. The reason is, Goals for George, let me tell you, it's because we won't get full profit for Ahmad if we sold Ahmad. Mainu and Garnacho, we will get full money for those players because they are homegrown. They are deemed homegrown. So we will get full money. We won't get full money for Ahmad. And we bought him for 35 million. So we'll get next to nothing. And it will get next to nothing for FFP and PSR. It will be next to nothing in regards to our PSR rating. If we sold Garnacho or if we sold Mainu, we will get a lot of money. So that is why they're planting the seed. All right. Sniper Man. So did you see I Show Speed Racer, Jamie? I ain't seen it yet. Oh, yeah, I saw that. No, I haven't seen it. Absolutely. Big up, Sniper Man. If you could take one player from Brighton for Man United, who would you take, mate? The goalkeeper, mate, Verbruggen, or the Japanese fella. What's his name? Flipping hell, he caught me off guard. I've forgotten the Japanese fella's name. You guys can give me a chat. I've forgotten. It's completely lost me. I like Minter. Let me say Minter. I like Minter. Is it Minter? Yeah, I like Minter. I think he's a good player. I really do. Almac. There is no way Højlund can remain the starting striker. He hasn't scored 20 games in 20 years. Absolutely not. He can't. We're going to have to sort out that position, Almac. But as I said, games are decided on fine margins. And that ball from Dalot, that lack of ball from Dalot, should we say, was disgraceful. Because that ball goes to Rasmus. If Rasmus scores, that can change Rasmus's career. It can change his career, of course. Guys. Absolutely. Almac, yes, he needs experience. So on the one hand, you and I know that we need wholesale changes. That the big question is who's the evil Glazers will do it. This is the thing. Maybe they might be budged, of course, at the end of the day. Yeah, Sniper Man, we need experience, but we don't need Vardy experience, mate. We need player about 25, 26 who's proven goal scorer, Sniper Man. Believe it from a guy who's seen it for 40 years, Sniper Man, watching Man United, watching great strikers, watching goal scorers, my whole career, my whole life, right? Believe it from me, right? Listen a little bit more. Sal, on the other one hand, I think I read down, big up yourself. Sal, would you believe that Victor Roque left Batista go back to Palmeiras after a big move to Barca didn't pay on? Players really need to be careful on their research before the transfers. Goal Sir George, this is where I said it many weeks ago, and I'll say it again. When Sir Alex Ferguson used to sign players, he didn't used to only sign the talent, because some of these players are incredibly talented. Victor Roque is incredibly talented, was highly rated when he went to Barcelona, of course. But the thing is with this is that we need to get to know, and other teams need to get to know the personality. The personality is just important as the actual player. When Alex Ferguson used to sign players, he used to take their family out for dinner. He used to get to know the player. He used to get to know about the personal life of the player. Is he married? What's his hobbies? What does he do in his spare time? Things like that. These days, they look at a player killing it in Brazil, a bit like Neymar, killing it in Brazil, comes to Europe, flatters to deceive, really. You know what I mean? And you got to look at the lifestyle of the player. For example, Ronaldinho, right? Ronaldinho is one of the most talented players I've ever seen. But he had loved to party. He loved to party, of course. They will get 3 or 4 players to replace those leaving. It remains to be seen. Let's see what happens, brother. Let's see. Michael, absolutely. Stephanie, thank you so much. 33.72. Come on, guys. Let's keep it going. Big up everyone who's joined me today. Mitona. That's it, Stephanie. Thank you so much. Mitona's one of the ones. He's a good player. Of course, big up Matoma. Big up Jay. Thank you, guys. Thank you, community. Should Højlund be getting experience as a starting striker at United, or should he be getting experience in lesser competition? Is it? I think he'd be good to go to Germany or something, Almac. That's a lesser, isn't it? I think if he went to Germany and he done well, or he went to France and he done well, somewhere like that, even back to Italy, if he went back to Italy, I think it'd be good for him. I just feel like sometimes, you know what, you just have to hold your hands up and say, it's not working out, and that's just it. And for whatever reason that is, there are other problems in that football team. Dalot not passing that ball, I would have dropped him. Alex Ferguson would have kicked him out of the football club for not making that pass. Brighton GK is amazing. Good shout. Yeah, he's a good goalkeeper. I like him. Verbruggen, I think his name is something like that. Yeah, very, very good goalkeeper. Big love, respect. Big up, Jim. Absolutely. Same to you, my friend. Same to you. Absolutely. So the last one. Also, tell Manu, I'll get your Sal, in Europa League game, I also Garnacho not passed to Højlund many chances. Looks like there is a somewhere, and this is the problem, Sniper Man. This is the problem. Famously, Sniper Man, let me tell you a little story about the 90s. I know you wasn't born then, Sniper Man, but I'm going to tell you something about the 90s, yeah? Andy Cole and Teddy Sheringham never got on. They hated each other, right? And this is Man United's most successful team of all time. They absolutely hated each other. But when they went on the pitch, right, they made sure they did what's best for the football club. They won the game. They wouldn't speak after the game. They never said a word to each other in a few years playing with each other. Just because you don't like a certain player, just because you know what you don't get on with them, you still do what's best for Manchester United. And if any of those players are not doing what's best for Manchester United, the door is there. Because at the moment, we're 14th in the league. And you know what? We don't want any more of this. You know what I mean? We need players who are prolific and who pick the right passes all the time. Of course. Big up, Jim. Of course, Spot on Celtics is king, and that has also been king last since Ferguson. So absolutely, guys, absolutely. So you have heard of Ronaldo going to America for football? Ronaldo Jr. or Ronaldo? Yeah, he'd probably go to Los Angeles to improve his social media presence, of course, like it needs improvement. I think it needs to watch clips of the 90s to improve their knowledge about the worth of strikers. Davos, oh, mate, goals for George. Davos, Suker, Gabriel Batistuta, Filippo Inzaghi, lethal, different level goals for George. You can bring in Robbie Fowler, who couldn't even get in the England team, Teddy Sheringham, Dwight York, Andy Cole. You want to bring Christian Vieri. You want to talk about Christian Vieri. Every single team had great players. When we look at Italy, you think of Alessandro Del Piero. You know, you think about that. David Trezeguet, you think about him. You know, and Faustino Asprilla. You know, there were players there that were just so good. You know, obviously R9 and Zamorano and players like that, they were just so good. Players, every single team had world-class players. Even Sampdoria had like the likes of Antilio Lombardo and Vieri and players like that. Do you know what I mean? So things were just so different back then. Angel Gomez would be a good signing too. Do you think we should sign Pogba in March just for the reminder of the season 3-year contract? If I speak, EC, I will be in big trouble. So I mean, if it was in regards to Pogba, if it was a pay-as-you-play contract and we can cut the contract at any time, I don't see the problem. But you know, Adam, I can't get over it. Man United 14, mate, makes I mean, I wouldn't have thought if someone told me 12 years ago, Adam, that Man United would be 14th in the league in 2025. Not won the league in 11, 12 years, I would have thought you were joking. Unfortunately, it's our reality. At least we're feeling it now. At least no one could call us glory hunters now. I mean, I spent my whole life being called a glory hunter. I was being called a glory hunter from everyone. Do you know what I mean? Mad. Big up, Adam. Also, I have heard about the story you told in the documentary in Prime. Yeah. Yeah, oh, cool. Yes. In regards to Teddy Sheringham and Andy Cole. Also, Sal, are we signing Angel Gomez? I don't know, mate. I haven't heard anything concrete, but Angel Gomez would love to come to Manchester United, of course. So is it knowing a player's personality like invading the privacy in football? I mean, players know. No, not at all. Not at all. They're getting paid 300 grand a week. We need to know who we're paying. Wouldn't you like to know, you know, if you're buying a car, wouldn't you like to know the history of that car? If you're spending 100 grand on that car, wouldn't you like to know? There you go. Jim, Sal, Europa League should be our most important focus now. It's do or die. Absolutely. We are not getting relegated. I'm talking about the sense of absolutely. I agree, Jim. I agree. So we should take a little bit of risk in the Premier League, in my opinion. Absolutely. Guys, I want to thank everyone who's joined me today. Sorry about the lateness of the show, but thank you everyone who's joined me for this little bit shorter show. But thank you everyone, and don't forget to join me. Put your notifications on, and whenever I go live, you guys can join me, of course. Thank you to the newcomers. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you are new, and please don't forget to smash a like on the video if you guys can kindly do that for me, of course. Absolutely. Get you, Jim. I got you, Jim. Absolutely. Big up. Sniper Man. So, but I still can't get over the FA Cup defeat. Life. Sniper Man, it's life. At the end of the day, we've never won the FA Cup every single season. That's just life. We've been knocked out by the likes of Barnsley and Sunderland, and over the years in the FA Cup under Alex Ferguson, we've been knocked out by clubs you wouldn't expect us to get knocked out by, of course. So lost finals against Everton and stuff. Just happens, mate. Big up, Tyborg. Thank you so much, you legend. Absolutely. Thank you, mate. Great show, everyone. Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, of course. Thank you, everyone. Absolutely. Matata, you're on your final leg, mate. You know what? I can still block, guys, thank you, everyone who's joined me today. And I'll see you when I see you. See you through the window. Take it easy. Enjoy your Saturday. And don't do anything I wouldn't do. Take it easy. Peace.